Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Premanandi ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajika Chastatra Satarishi Shishimada's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajika Chastatra Satarishi Shishimada's Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavini ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Guranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Guruvani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paskatya Resitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam Grantaraj ki jai. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvata tyakvideham punarjanma naitimam eti sarjana. Anyone who knows the transcendental nature of Krishna's advent and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take birth again, but comes back to me, Krishna says. So the power of hearing about Krishna and understanding the mysterious and transcendental nature of his appearance and activities is such that it confers upon the sincere devotee immortality. We're already immortal, but as long as we have even one little misconception about our constitutional position as the eternal servant of Krishna, one little attachment, one little material desire, one bodily identification, we stay in the material world. And therefore, for most people, it is virtually impossible to get free of the cycle of birth and death. The only hope we have is to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master in a bona fide spiritual lineage, or parampara, evam parampara praptam imam raja sayovidu, coming originally from Krishna, not from somebody's grandfather or some Baba that they met, but has to originally come from Krishna. So, therefore, it's a fact that one can stop the process of repeated birth and death and achieve immortality. In fact, we have our Immortality Institute here. I don't know if any of you know that or not, but we are teaching people how to attain again their original state of immortality. And it's possible to attain the stage of amritatvam, immortality. We are already amrita, deathless, immortal. However, due to our attachment to this body, attachment to the body is called illusion. The definition of illusion is to believe something is true that was never true. Not at any time. It's not that it was true a little bit in the past and then it became untrue. An illusion, the real definition of it, is to be attached to something, to believe something that was never true at any time. Now, is it true that I am this body? Was it true at any time? No. Which body are you talking about? That little microscopic fish that came out of your father and entered your mother's womb? You can't even see it with a microscope. Would anyone here deny that they were that little fish? Would you deny it, bro? Would you say that was not me? Anybody? You see. So we began as a microscopic fish, and it entered into a ovum and eventually became an emulsion that you can barely see with a microscope. And eventually it developed into a little ball with 9 holes. And those 9 holes became 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 2 eyes, a mouth, an anus, and a genital. And then it evolved a little bit more, and there's a neck and a head, and there's a nose, and there's ears, and so forth, into a little fetus like this. Would anyone deny that that was you? That little fetus? And then it began to grow a little bit more. Eventually, after 10 months, it becomes a little baby, maybe 4 pounds, 5 pounds, 6 pounds, 7 pounds, and it's pushed out. And then it continues to grow. Dehinosmin yata dehe kumaran yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir diras tatra namuyate. So, as the embodied soul continually changes from in this body, from boyhood to youth to old age, similarly, it passes on to another body at death. The self-realized soul is never bewildered by such a change. So one must develop the attitude of a dhira. Dhira means a self-realized soul who's very sober and doesn't say, oh my God, I have another gray hair. Oh my God, my teeth are loose. Oh, my eyes are getting weak. I got a backache. And I'm getting an onset of diabetes, and maybe one day I'll have kidney dialysis. No, there's none of that panic of old age, disease, and death. Because one knows, I'm not this body. These things might be happening to this body, but it has nothing to do with my soul. Therefore, because they understand what is the real person, they feed the temporary body, but they also feed the soul. What is the soul food? The real soul food? It's not spare ribs with barbecue sauce. The real soul food is Krishna Katha. Shinvata Swakata Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtan. Hridayantaksto Badrani Vidu Nati Srihit Sitam. An honest person. Shinvata Swakata Krishna, who understands the reality of their situation, is interested avidly in this Krishna consciousness, Katha, all about Krishna. And what better time to engage in Krishna Katha than now, on the advent of Krishna's Janma, or appearance. And Krishna dwelling in their hearts, when he sees that the devotee has a very eager propensity to hear about him, he takes special interest in that person and helps that person to remain in a position where they can continually hear and chant about Krishna's glories. And because of that, the Lord, by his mercy, makes an arrangement where a person like that can live in or near a temple where they can easily come every day, have darshan, have prasadam, and have a chance to hear Krishna Katha. Look how eager Maharaj Parikshit was. He knew that he was going to die in 7 days. And he said, okay, I got 7 days. What's the best thing I can do? Should I do like they have nowadays for children that are terminally ill? They say, you know, make a wish. So the kid said, I want to go to Disneyland before I die. Okay, you go to Disneyland. And they pay for the kid to go to Disneyland. Free visit, you know. So, but Maharaj Parikshit, he asked, what should I do now that I know I have 7 days left to live? What is the essential thing I should do? And what was the answer? You should hear Srimad Bhagavatam from a pure devotee. Well, therefore, we don't have to ask anymore, what should I do? We should make an arrangement so that we can continually, every day, hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Because Maharaj Parikshit was in a better position than us. He knew exactly when he was going to die. We don't know. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. It could be 1 week from now. So a man or a person who's 20 years old but is going to die in 2 years is old already. And a person who's 80 years old but is going to die in 30 years is a young man still. You see? But we don't have that knowledge. We don't know when we're going to die. So therefore, we should hedge our bet. How do you hedge your bet? You don't know when you're going to die, right? So therefore, you should take to it right now, as if you're going to die tomorrow. That's or in the next minute. That is a Krishna conscious person. A materialist thinks, I'll have another 50 years and I'll get some. I'll get a new kidney and a new gallbladder. I'll get a new heart. And nowadays you can get a new face also. Yeah, they're complete face transplant, and they're working on a new head transplant. They're working on it. Of course, Lord Shiva knew how to do that a long time ago. You know, he could put a new head on a person. He put a donkey head on Daksha. So he knew the science. They're much more advanced previously than the dumbbells today. Anyway, what we should be interested in is not a new head or a new gallbladder. We should be interested in a eagerness to hear and chant about Krishna. And then, by the more we engage in hearing and chanting and engaging in devotional service, nastaprayesu bhadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati utamasloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By serving the book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat. Book Bhagavat is Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And the person Bhagavat is Srila Prabhupada and his sincere devotees who are actually following the regulative principles and also have this eagerness to hear and chant. And therefore, gradually then, one becomes free of lust and greed and illusion, and they become peaceful. When you become peaceful because you're not agitated anymore by lust and greed and illusion and madness and envy and greed, then you become peaceful and you find the time for hearing and chanting. As long as we're agitated by these things, especially greed, the best example of greed is this. One day a devotee came to me and said, Prabhu, you want to raise money to build a new temple, right? Yes. I got a great idea. Multi-level marketing. Because so many Indians are coming to the temple and they all listen to what you say. They can be your downline. You become my downline and they become your downline and we'll all become rich. I said, are you crazy? He said, what do you mean? Yeah, I'm crazy about making money, but what do you mean crazy? I said, you think the reason why we're giving lectures, waking up early, worshiping the deities, having festivals, is to make all the Indians coming to the temple our downline for multi-level marketing, for Amway? Is that the purpose? Is that why Prabhupada wanted us to open this temple, become an Amway distributor? Are you crazy? He said, well, what's wrong with that? You want to build a new temple? You want to make money, don't you, to build a new temple? I said, no, we don't want to make money like that. And we're not here to make money. We're here to spread Krishna consciousness. Put that in your crazy head. We're not here to make money. So this greed and lust and anger, they are the 3 doors to hell. So if you want to go to hell, then you practice, don't practice Krishna consciousness, practice Kama, Krodha, and Lobha. Hari Kirtan, Hari Prasad, Hari Japa, Hari Seva, etc. That's what he's teaching. Okay, so now, Jiva Loka, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, Manak Sanstan Indriyani, Prakriti Sanikarsati. That we are all Mama Eva Amsa, part and parcel of Krishna. And therefore, Krishna is our father, the original father of everything. Janmadasayata, Purusha Prakritistohi, Bhunkte Prakriticha Gunai, Karanam Gunasangasya, except that we have the richest, most beautiful, most powerful, most knowledgeable, and most renounced father, Krishna. So if he's all these things, should we be worried in life? If your best friend was Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, and they were completely enamored by you and listened to whatever you said, would you have a problem in life? Huh? These are some of the richest people in the world, right? But they are pipsqueaks. They're like less than a bacteria in the intestine of a mosquito compared to Krishna. Therefore, who should be our best friend? Krishna. Suhridam sarvabhutanam. Therefore, Krishna, Ishwara Parama Krishna, Sachitananda Vigraha, Nadiradir Govinda, Sarvakarana Karanam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. Lord Brahma names him. He doesn't say, I think, maybe he's my next door neighbor or this guy, he works for Amazon, so he might be God. No. It's Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sachitananda Vigraha, he has a transcendental form, not made of mucus, bile, and stool. It's made of Sachitananda, eternity, bliss, and knowledge. And Anadir Adir Govinda, he has no beginning. He's the original person. And his name is also Govinda, the protector of the brahmanas and the cows and all living entities, and a well-wisher of all humanity and all living creatures. So therefore, he's the cause of all causes. In other words, the buck stops with Krishna. There are many causes, and one thing that confuses people is cause and effect. All the scientists and big philosophers, the way they defeat devotees and religions in debates is they say, well, you say that there is a cause for everything. And then you say there's a God. Who's the cause of God if you say there's a cause of everything? See, that's a trap. I'm giving you a secret now. When you discuss with these so-called big guys, the philosophers, the scientists, they all have a trap. They all have discussed among themselves how to defeat these junior devotees. They say, well, you believe everything has a cause, don't you? And the devotees say, yes. So then you say God is the cause of this world? Yes. Then who's the cause of God? That you're defeated right there, right? But no. There are many causes and effects, but Krishna created cause and effect as an instrument of Maya to confuse all of us. And just like in the O.J. Simpson trial, his lawyer, Johnny Coltrane, he said, if the glove does not fit, you must acquit. Right? So there was this glove that was left over after the murder of O.J.'s wife and boyfriend. And they did this drama. This actually wasn't a drama. It was a comedy in court. So they have O.J. put on the glove, and he put it on in such a way that it didn't fit. And he showed all the jurors. It didn't fit, you know. And what did they do? They acquitted him of murder, although it was perfectly clear that he murdered his wife and her boyfriend, you see. So you see how courts are full of comedy. They call it, you know, drama, but it's actually comedy. You know, it's a bunch of nonsense. Anyway, the original person is Krishna, sarvakarana karanam. And you must be convinced of that. How do we know? One time there was a person I met on the street. He had just graduated from Yale University. He was only 19 years old. He was on his way to have a student professorship at a big university. And we got into a little discussion. And he said, well, you know, I mean, why don't you just give this up? You know, you believe in God. There's no God. It's all an illusion. I said, well, I can prove to you that God exists. What? You can prove to me that God exists? I just graduated from Yale. I said, I know. Well, so what? You know, I didn't even go to college. So what? Well, how are you going to convince me? Well, I can convince you in less than a minute. You can convince me in less than a minute? I said, yes. If you do that, I'll join your movement. I said, okay. Can you tell me where your luggage is? He said, this was in Paris, and he was a tourist. He said, why do you want to know where my luggage is? Because I'm going to convince you now in less than a minute. I just want to know how far away you have to go to pick up your luggage so that you can move into the temple. I said, wait a minute, why don't you convince me first? I said, okay. I said, do you have a mother and father? What? Is that the way you're going to convince me? Asking me a stupid question? I said, no. Do you have a mother and father? Just answer the question. Yes. Do they have a mother and father? Yes. Do they have a mother and father? Yes. Well, the original father is Krishna. He said, is that the proof? I said, yeah. Wait a minute, let me try and understand what you just said. Do I have a mother? Yeah, okay. And did I have a mother? Yeah. And did I have a mother? Well, the original father is Krishna. He said, okay, let's go pick up my luggage. He joined. He joined the temple. And he's a very good friend of mine today. And he's still a devotee. And he's a very prominent person. I won't say what his name is because you can try and do some research and find out. He joined the movement because he couldn't argue against it, right? There has to be an origin of everything. People say there's no origin, it all happens by accident. Oh, okay. Did Microsoft happen by accident? If you go into Microsoft and say, this all happened by accident, they will call the psychological evaluation team to take you in a room and evaluate how crazy you are. They know you're crazy already to say such a thing. Did Microsoft happen by accident? Did this temple happen by accident? Did anything that you know of that's organized happen by accident? No. You wouldn't say, you'd be crazy if you said that. Then the world, which is a much bigger and much more complicated organized system, how could that happen by accident? When it's millions of times, billions of times more complicated than Microsoft or Amazon or the electric company or a steel factory, any of these things. So you see how crazy people have become. These scientists are the dumbest, craziest people in the world. They tell you that things happen by accident. Just like one time I was with Prabhupada, and I helped to arrange a meeting between a very prominent person in France called, during a discussion with Prabhupada, we brought up the subject of a very prominent scientist in France. His name was Dr. Jacques Monod. Dr. Jacques Monod wrote a book called La Chance et la Nécessité, which translates into English, Chance and Necessity. And in this book, he proved that there is no God and creation just happened by accident. That's why he said, La chance et la nécessité. So, when we presented this to Prabhupada, he said, yes. He said, he has written a book. He said, is this book famous? He said, oh yeah, he sold many books. And he also has a Nobel Prize. He said, In the book, he proves that everything happened by accident. But his book didn't happen by accident. And he put his name on the book, right? If everything happens by accident, why does he put his name on the book? Why doesn't he say, I wrote the book? Why doesn't he just say it happened by accident, right? So he said how, he showed to us how crazy people are, And many times when Prabhupada met with big people, we arranged a meeting with him with a very big guy. He was the original translator of the person in Auroville, Bengali guru. What was his name? Aurobindo. And this man was Aurobindo's official translator into French, and he became a guru. He had disciples. So when he met Prabhupada, he presented a book that he wrote. He said, I spent 10 years going back and forth to Vrindavan, talking with the Goswamis, and I wrote this book, and I want to present it to you. Bhakti, he said the title in French was Bhakti, le yoga d'amour. Now see, this word d'amour in French means love, but it has two connotations to it. And the normal connotation in French is, well, I'll give you an example. When I first went to France, we made a pamphlet up, Krishna Love Feast, which translates into French, Festin d'amour de Krishna. Right? So once we put that out in the streets, some people were calling us up. There's one French lady called me up and said, Bonjour, j'aimerais bien venir à votre fête d'amour. Qu'est-ce que c'est le vêtement qu'on doit avoir? C'est un bikini? She said, hello, I received your pamphlet about your love feast. What is the dress code? Can I come in a bikini? I said, a bikini? Because in French, d'amour, the normal connotation of that word means, having sex, right? So this crazy guy, this big translator of bhakti, the yoga of love, right? In French, he says, bhakti, the yoga d'amour, right? Now, Prabhupada didn't know that, right? So he gives him the book, and Prabhupada accepts the book like this, and he just puts it down like that. And he said, yes, you spent 10 years, and you wrote this book, and still it's full of many mistakes. He didn't even look at the book. He could tell that this guy's and this guy had such an inflated ego. But when Prabhupada said that very slowly and with very, sober language, the guy deflated from a giant to less than an ant in front of him. And from that point on, Prabhupada started preaching to him. He didn't let the guy say one word. So here we see when Prabhupada was meeting these people, he was meeting them to show us that they're not really so great, that they're all full of speculation, and they have no idea what is actually the purpose of life, who Krishna is, what they should be doing. Like, here's Maharaj Parikshit, he wants to figure out what he should do. And Krishna says, the sages in Janmashtami said, you should hear Srimad Bhagavatam from a pure devotee. Here's Arjuna, he's confused. He doesn't know what to do. Right? What does Krishna tell him? You should surrender to me. And ya imam paramam guyam mad bhakti sabidasyati. Bhakti mai param kritva mam evaisasya samsaya. That you should surrender to me and you should teach Bhagavad Gita to others. There's no one dearer to me than that person. So we don't have to say, oh, that was Krishna told Arjuna what to do 5,000 years ago, but he's not present today. How can I know what to do? What? The instruction he gave to Arjuna is instruction for all of us. We should learn Bhagavad Gita. and instructed to others. What did Prabhupada do? What was the first book that he translated and printed? Huh? Bhagavad Gita. Right? You see? He's following Krishna's order. And the Parampara's order. You learn Bhagavad. Why? Because Bhagavad Gita is Shruti. Even though it appears in a Smriti literature. It's one chapter of Mahabharata, but it's actually Shruti. Shruti means what's spoken directly by Krishna. It's the highest authority. There's Shruti and Smriti, what's spoken about Krishna, and what's spoken directly by Krishna. They're both authority. But obviously, when you hear Bhagavad Gita, you're hearing Krishna answer every question Arjuna has. And what are those questions? The most important questions to clear the path to surrendering to God. Therefore, when we go out on Sankirtan, we distribute Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday, some Christian guy, right, asked me a question. He said, we were doing a study, Bible study, and in this Bible study, we're trying to figure out what faith actually means. What faith in God actually means. And what does your religion say that faith is? I said, well, faith, the ultimate statement of faith is given by Arjuna. Nasta moha smitir labha tat prasadat mayuchita stita smi gata sandeha karishya vachanam tava. He said, well, I didn't understand one word. I said, yeah, I'm speaking in Sanskrit. This is Krishna's original words. He says, Nasti moha smitir labha. Now, Krishna, na aste, I no longer have any moha, illusion. I'm free of it. And secondly, Nasti moha smitir labha, tat prasadat mayuchyata. Krishna, my dear Supreme Personality God, this is your special mercy that you have cleared my mind of all illusion. Stitosmi gata sandeha. Now I'm situated in my real position. I can remember who I am. I know now that my real identity is I'm your eternal servant. And Stitosmi gata sandeha. Karishya vachanam. Therefore, Krishna, whatever you tell me to do, that's what I'm going to do. I said, this is the ultimate statement of faith. When you're ready to follow God's order. And I said, this is in your religion also, because I'm also a Christian like you. He said, you're a Christian? I said, yeah, I'm a Christian. I never gave up being a Christian. And Jesus, when he was on the Mount of Gethsemane, God said that he wanted Jesus to be crucified for the sins of others. And Jesus hesitated a little bit, but then he said, Dear Father, it is not what I want, but it is what you want that I will do. I said it's exactly the same statement as Arjuna. Karishye vachanam tava. I will do whatever you tell me to do. I said, this is the ultimate statement of faith. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna refused to follow Krishna's order. But after Krishna answered all his questions perfectly, and to his complete satisfaction, he said, I'm ready to do whatever you tell me to do. I said, that's the ultimate statement of faith. He said, thank you very much. He said, that's very enlightening. I will go back and tell everyone in my group. Because it's what Jesus said also. Okay? So therefore, when we say Krishna, we're not talking about some ordinary person. It's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And sometimes people say, God has no name. Prabhupada said, that's a fact. The Jews say, God has no name. You cannot pronounce the name of God. Actually, that's different. You cannot pronounce the name of God. It's not the same as God has no name. So people have a name, Bill, Joe, Dirty Eddie, whatever. But those are names. But Krishna's name, or Krishna, we refer to him by his activities. Bhaktavatsala. Makanashur, Makanashur, and we say Giridhari. These are all his activities. He doesn't have a name like Bill, Ed, Joe, whatever. It's by his activities that we know him. And his activities are all supernatural. They're all transcendental. They're not laced with influence from sattva, rajas, and tamas. They're all visuddha-sattva, transcendental activities. Everything about Krishna is transcendental. That's why, in order to understand Krishna, we must become transcendental. We must be free of the influence of sattva and rajas and tamas. Otherwise, we cannot really understand Krishna. A person who's tamasic and rajasic, if he hears about Krishna, he says, "Oh my God, it gives me a headache here." And ching 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 Hare Krishna, and then this guy's speaking, and I can't even understand what he's saying. Yeah, you can't understand because you ate too much meat. You had too many dead bodies rotting in your stomach. That's why you can't understand. You have to give up that lifestyle of the demons. Only demons eat meat. Sometimes people say, "Oh, you guys are fanatics." No, we're not fanatics. We are rationalists. We depend on reason and logic. If you eat something dead, will it give you life? Answer, no. But if you eat something living, it can give you life. So what is living? A whole wheat berry. Unprocessed rice. Why? How do you know it's living? If you plant it, it grows. A tomato. You plant a tomato, instead of eating it, it will grow another tomato. So it has the living principle. But if you eat dead things, like an Oreo cookie, what happens? You'll be dead, right? It doesn't give you life. So, therefore, I always explain to people, there's 2 rules for eating. 1, don't eat anything that has eyes and a family. Number 2, only eat something that if you plant it, it grows. They said, eyes and a family. I said, yeah, that includes chickens, fish, eggs. He said, they don't have eyes. Yeah, but if you wait, they will have eyes. Okay. So you see, people are convinced not by preaching exactly. They're convinced by someone who makes sense. Does it make sense to eat something dead to give you life? No. It makes sense to eat something live to give you life. So I once met this man, and he said, "Oh, you guys, you eat things for health." I said, "Yes." He said, "Yeah, I'm into that too." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, I only eat fresh things." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, fresh meat. I don't cook it. I don't cook it," he said. Raw meat. He said, I'm on a raw diet, he said. You see how crazy people are, So how do you defeat his argument there? He said, I only eat fresh food. Well, wait a minute. He's eating something dead. He's calling it fresh. That right there is an oxymoron, right? So this world is full of crazy people. But if they meet someone who makes sense to them, then they're willing to listen. Just like when the demon, Rikasura, was chasing Shiva to kill him. How did Krishna stop him? Okay, you know the Shastra, Prabhu. How did he stop him? He put a doubt in his mind, right? He also told him it's not good for your health, running like this. Right? So when you say something to help a person in their health, all the demons are interested because they want to prolong their life for more sense gratification, right? So they're interested in, protein shakes and panchakarma, this thing and that thing, because they want to prolong the time they're in this body enjoying sense gratification. So, because Krishna showed an interest in Rikasura's body, and also he put a doubt in his mind about Shiva as a liar, right? He stopped to listen to him. So you want to stop someone on Sankirtan, you have to say something to them that is in their interest. Now, what is their interest? Their interest is sense gratification. and health is one aspect of continual sense gratification. So that's one way to stop people. So anyway, here Prabhupada is saying that it says, Krishna is the father of everyone. Therefore, he must be very old. He must be very old. Purana, Purusham, Avayovanam cha. Yes, he's the oldest person, but he's always a fresh youth. Now, what does every billionaire in Silicon Valley want nowadays? They want immortality. But they want it in a crazy way. You know, they want to make a Japanese robot or Chinese robot that looks exactly like them. Then they want to download their mind into a software and then install the software in the Chinese robot that looks exactly like them. And a robot's just like a car, you know, something goes wrong in it, you just replace the part, right? So they think they'll be immortal like that, eternal like that. What they don't know is some guy named Igor in Belarus who's going to hack your robot and put it in a junkyard, right? So that's the end of them, right? And anyway, there's no such thing as you're going to live eternally by having a robot that looks like you. It's nonsense. Or they're going to freeze you now, and later on, when they find a cure for your disease, they're going to unfreeze you. You think he's going to be alive when he's unfrozen? It's all nonsensical things. Therefore, these are the dumbest people in the world. And they have to pay a lot of money. You know, if they freeze you, it costs up to $200,000 a year. What happened? The guy that first started that, he froze immediately about 10 or 12 people. But then he went bankrupt. They had to unfreeze them all. They were all dead. This is a true story. This is true. It's not. I'm not making it up. You see how crazy people are? Okay. Well, he was unfrozen and they threw him in the junkyard, right? Okay, so Krishna is very old. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna was over 100 years old, 120 years old. He had grandchildren. But he looked like Navayovanamcha, a young youth of only 20 years. This is exactly what the billionaires want. The billionaire's problem is, I have so much money, but I can't live long enough to enjoy it. Therefore, we have to find a solution to this death. Well, that is the ultimate goal of science, is to solve the riddle of death. Therefore, in the West, the best scientist was Jesus Christ. He resurrected from the dead. Right? He was already a scientist. And way before that, there's so many examples of people. See, Jesus had to die and resurrect. But all of us are eternal already. The only reason we're dying is because we become attached to the body. Just like one time, there was a fish and a frog. And one time the frog spoke to the fish. He said, "Brother fish," he said, "I love you. I love you, man. But every night you go deeper into the water and I go hiding in the grass. And I don't see you and it causes great pain. Look, I want to be attached to you always. I never want to be separated from you." And the fish said, "Well, how can we do that?" He said, "I got an idea." So I'll get some kind of string and I'll tie one of my legs to one of your fins. We'll always be attached. Said, "Okay, great idea, man." So the frog got a string somehow, tied it to his leg, and he tied it to the fish's fin. Now they were together. And they were swimming. The fish would swim around, the frog would swim around with him. But then a hawk came. And the fish said, "Man, there's a hawk. We got to get out of here." The frog said, "Well, where are you going?" He said, "I got to go deep in the water." "But you go deep in the water, I'll drown, man." So, "Hey, how else are we going to free ourselves?" "Well, I'm going to go toward the grass." He said, "But if you go toward the grass, I can't breathe." So, "Well, what are we going to do?" So they got into a tug of war, and the hawk came down, got the fish, and got the frog also. You see? So this is what's happening to us. As long as we stay attached to this body, which is not us, and we don't have any real relationship to it, other than just happening to be inside of it for a certain period of time, and that also is not eternal, We get caught, like the fish and the frog. So, how do you become detached from the body? You maintain it minimally to engage in Krishna consciousness. More people have died by overeating than undereating. So maintaining minimally means you control eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. If you learn to control these things according to the principles of Krishna consciousness, you will live peacefully in the body and have plenty of time for cultivating Krishna consciousness. If you don't, if you overeat, oversleep, over this, over that, then you will be over. You'll be finished. Your Krishna consciousness will be, our Krishna consciousness will be finished. We'll be too busy maintaining the body, just like a woman who had a beautiful, expensive bird, and in order to keep the bird, she bought a beautiful, expensive gold cage. And every day, she polished the cage. But she didn't feed the bird. So after 3 weeks, she had a very shiny cage and a dead bird. That's called Atmaha, killer of the soul. The soul is eternal, but you can starve it till it goes into a state of complete inactivity. It becomes inactive, as if it's dead. It's not dead, but it's inactive, because we are only interested in polishing the body and not feeding the soul. So this Krishna Katha is feeding the soul. If we simply read the Vedic literature as a formality, then it's very difficult to be Krishna conscious. This formal reading of Bhagavatam, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. It's just like, someone promises you, if you do my yoga, first of all, you give me $1,000. Then I'll teach you how to do my yoga. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the night, and you become God. Well, it's just like that. If I read 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, it's only formality, right? I'll not understand anything. And even if I can memorize the Bhagavad Gita, in other words, I have knowledge, still that's not enough. Having knowledge is not enough. Just like people have knowledge that if you smoke a cigarette, it's bad for your health. Did they stop smoking cigarettes? No. Not at all. People know that engaging in illicit activities is not good for you. Did they stop? No. They're still stealing. They're still engaging in all kinds of illicit sex. They're still engaging in income tax fraud. All these things. They have knowledge, but it hasn't stopped them from doing nonsense. So knowledge is not enough. One cannot use the knowledge properly unless they're engaged in devotional service. And the highest devotional service is Harinam Sankirtan. When I say highest, all service is transcendental. But Harinam Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma, what is recommended in this age for all living entities to become free from the cycle of birth and death. That's how important it is. How did Prabhupada describe the Krishna consciousness movement? He said, this is the Harinam Sankirtan movement. What is Lord Chaitanya's purpose? Is to spread this Sankirtan to every town and village. So, therefore, unless we come out on Sankirtan, unless we engage in Krishna Katha, speaking and glorifying Krishna, chanting His holy name, distributing His holy prasadam, distributing knowledge of Him in the form of Prabhupada's books, unless we actually sacrifice our time and our energy to do these things, whatever knowledge we have, it's like all the knowledge Karna had. He had knowledge of all the astras from Parasuram. But when he wanted it most, he forgot. That's why Krishna says, Sarvasya Chaham Pridi Sanivisto, Matak Smitir Jnanam Apahanam Cha. He says, I am dwelling in the heart of everyone. And from me comes knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. Therefore, unless we're engaged in Harinam Sankirtan, and there's two aspects of it. One is support of it, and the other is actually doing it. So the cook who's cooking the prasadam for distribution, the translator and the book publisher who's working to get those books out, they're all support of the Harinam Sankirtan. The person that drives the car, the person that plays the mridangam, the person who plays the kartals, the people that are singing, the book distributors, the people distributing prasadam, they're all engaged in Harinam Sankirtan. See? Just like in the United States Army, they have 1.5 million members of the United States Armed Forces. You know, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, and so forth, the Army. But only 150,000 of them are fighters, trained killers. The rest are support. That's all the Americans have. They only have 150,000 trained soldiers for active battle. The rest are just support people. Right? But yet, it's a very effective armed forces. You cannot be a fighter. They can't put anybody out to be a fighter. You have to be trained to kill without hesitation. That takes a lot of training. To kill another person in direct combat requires a huge amount of training, because most people, you just give them a gun and say, okay, go out there and shoot. They'll be killed very easily because they'll hesitate pulling the trigger. To train a person that they can actually pull the trigger and kill another person and not bat an eyelash requires high level of training. In the same way, to train a person to go on Sankirtan and meet people they've never met before and talk to them, it requires a lot of training. Most people can't do it, not capable of doing it. But they can be if they regularly hear and chant and associate with other persons who are doing it. You have to be trained to go out on Sankirtan because you become a killer. You don't kill the person like the soldier in the American Army. You kill their desire for sense gratification. That is a more significant killing, more significant murder. You murder their life of sense gratification, but you give them a life of eternal service to Krishna. So that's a real killer. You're not allowed to kill in Kali Yuga unless you can give life to who you killed. That's why cow sacrifice, horse sacrifice, human sacrifice is not permitted in Kali Yuga, although it was permitted previously. Even human sacrifice was permitted previously, because the Brahmins were so qualified that if they killed someone, they could bring them back alive, rejuvenated, not bring them back alive in an old body, but rejuvenated. Therefore, they were allowed to kill, but they're not allowed to do that in Kali Yuga. And a devotee, if you go out on Sankirtan and you destroy someone's desire to be Krishna conscious, you are not qualified. You're only qualified if you can go out, kill their desire for sense gratification, and give them the desire, and build up their desire for Krishna consciousness. If you kill their desire for Krishna consciousness by treating them wrongly, then you're not qualified, because you haven't given them life, new life. You've destroyed whatever life they have. See? So going on Sankirtan is just not, it's not, well, go out there, and bang on the kartals and sing Hare Krishna, like that, and look sad. And that's Sankirtan. No, it's not. If you see a Sankirtan party coming by and everyone looks sad, they are killers. They're not living. They're not giving life to people. They're killing people. Say, what? They say, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. That guy's chanting Hare Krishna. He doesn't look happy at all. He looks more miserable than me. So why should he become part of the Sankirtan party? Right? They're saying, chant Hare Krishna and be happy, and the person who's chanting looks more miserable than the guy they're trying to convince. So therefore, unless we're actually happy about being Krishna conscious, unless we're actually free of kama and lobha and mada and matsarya and krodha, then we're going to go out and kill people instead of giving them life. We're going to go out and convince them not to be Krishna conscious. You see, we actually have to have faith that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Prabhupada is his pure devotee, and Bhagavad Gita is his direct words, and Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken by pure devotees about Krishna, and this is my life and soul. To have happiness, I don't, officially look like I'm Krishna conscious, but then I go on the internet and I do all kinds of nonsense on the internet. That's not a person who's actually Krishna conscious. A person who's actually Krishna conscious, they get their happiness by coming to class. They get their happiness by going on Sankirtan. They get their happiness by respecting prasadam and distributing prasadam. That is real happiness. It's not by happiness, oh, my 401k went up. Ha! I feel confident now. What happens when the 401k goes down? Oh, I lost my confidence. I don't believe in Krishna anymore. I'm going to worship Ganapati. It's all nonsense. It's when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Right? So it's when you don't prove your Krishna consciousness when everything's going all right. You prove that you're Krishna conscious when everything's not going all right. When there's difficulty. Just like Arjuna, he was asked to fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. Now, Arjuna didn't want to fight. Why? Because he was lethal. He knew that he would kill 100 million people. That's how powerful a person he was. That's why he was avoiding the fight. But Krishna didn't accept that because he was avoiding it for his own sense gratification, because he wouldn't feel good after killing so many people. But Krishna didn't accept that. He said, you must fight. It's your duty. You were trained to protect the principles of Dharma. It doesn't matter that some of your family is on the other side and some of the family is on this side. So Arjuna was thinking, if we win, all my cousin, brothers, family members, and my guru, they'll all be killed. And if we lose, all my brothers and close family, and immediate family members will be killed. So therefore, I'm not going to fight. I'm going to walk away. No, Krishna didn't accept that. So, just like once there was a man and his wife, and a robber came in and started choking his wife. Like this. And the man called the police. So the policeman came. He said, what's wrong? He said, there's a robber in the bedroom choking my wife. Hurry up, please do something. He said, okay, don't worry. The policeman took his gun out. He said, I'll go and get that guy. He walked into the bedroom, and then he walked out and put his gun back. He said, what happened? He said, well, I went in there to kill the robber. He said, okay, then what happened? I didn't hear any shots. He said, yeah, but the robber's my brother. And when my mom died, I promised I'd never hurt my brother. So I'll just call another policeman. You call another policeman? My wife will be dead by then. Oh, I can't help you, buddy. Now, is that acceptable? Would you accept that? That's nonsense. Well, that's exactly what Arjuna was saying. I can't fight because if I win, I lose. And if I lose, I win. I lose. So I'm not going to fight. No. Krishna said, no. You don't fight because you win or lose. You fight because it's your duty to fight. I'm telling you to fight. So what is the actual statement of faith? Karishye vachanam tava. Whatever you tell me, Krishna, that's what I'm going to do. So whatever Krishna has told us, that's what we should do. Whatever Prabhupada has told us, that's what we should do. We should go on Sankirtan. We should support Sankirtan. We should be happy. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Haribol. So we'll talk about our strategy right after the opening of the deities.
Jasumati Nandana Brajabara Nakara Jasumati Nandana Brajabara Nakara Jasumati Nandana Brajabara Nakara Somati Nandana Brajabara Nakara Gokula Ranjana Kana Ranjana Kana Viparanadana Madana Manohara Viparanadana Manohara Kaliya Damona Bidhana Kaliya Damona Bidhana Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Vara Vanshivadana Subhasa Brajajana Palana Surakula Nasrana Nanda Godana Rakoala Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundarananda Gopala Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasana Hara Gopi Vasana Rasarasika Kripa Moya Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Bhakati Vinodashaya Jasomati Nandana Brajabaranagara Mati Nandana Brajabaranagara Jasomati Nandana Brajabaranagara Gokula Ranjana Kana Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natabara Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Shyam Jai Nitalila Vishipad Paramahamsa Parivajapacharya Stutara Sadasishiman His Divine Grace Avoid Sharanarana Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Nandakoti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Shad Goswami Prabhu's Ki Prem Se Gosi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki, Vrindavan Dham ki, Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki, Jagannath Puri Dham ki, Ganga Devi Jamuna Mai ki, Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani ki, Naam Sankirtan ki, Harinam Mahamantra ki, Brihat Madanga Seva ki, Parama Karuna Shri Gaura Nitananda ki, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki, Shri Radha Nila Madhava ki, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ji ki, Shamavira Bhakta Brindu ki, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Okay, so now we're going to have a little bit of a discussion of our preaching strategy for Janmashtami. So this is our booklet, and let's quickly go through it. It says, the Vedic Cultural Center, Happy Krishna Janmashtami, the most auspicious appearance of Lord Krishna. The Vedic Cultural Center would like to thank its contributors and friends for the generous support for the purchase of the new Auburn farm this year. We collected roughly $230,000 for the down payment and moving expenses. We inaugurated the farm in July 2018 and transferred 6 milking cows there. Vedic Cultural Center purchased the new Goloka farm for 2 main reasons. First is to develop the infrastructure to produce ahimsa milk, pure milk from cows that are protected and never harmed or sent to the slaughterhouse. There are spiritual and material assets to protecting cows. Lord Krishna is a cowherd boy who tends to cows in Vrindavana every day. Shri Radha Nilmadhava Ki Jai. Krishna is pleased by persons who protect cows, and he showers blessings on them. Second is to establish a retreat and wellness center with healing equipment and beautiful landscape flower and vegetable herb gardens. Cow protection and land stewardship for prosperity and well-being. After the battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna installed Maharaj Yudhisthira as king of the Kuru Empire because he was endowed with godly qualities by virtue of accepting Krishna as his spiritual teacher, as well as other great devotees of Lord Krishna, such as Bhisma. It is said that during the reign of Maharaj Yudhisthira, there was regular rainfall. The earth produced all the necessities of mankind. Cows were happy, and their udders were bloated with sumptuous milk, so much so that they fertilized the pastures with milk. Thus, the citizens of the kingdom lived an opulent, healthy life, and cultivated spiritual values that helped them evolve into pure devotees, liberated from all the vices, illusions, and sufferings of degraded human life. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, also known as Srila Prabhupada, explains how to have a peaceful, happy, and prosperous society through cow protection, land stewardship, and Krishna-conscious leaders and citizens. Prabhupada says, the basic principle of economic development is centered on land and cows. The necessities of human society are food grains, fruits, milk, minerals, clothing, wood, etc. One requires all these items to fulfill the material needs of the body. Certainly, one does not require flesh and fish or iron tools and machinery. During the regime of Maharaj Yudhisthira, all over the world there were regulated rainfalls. Rainfalls are not in the control of the human being. The heavenly king Indradeva is the controller of rains, and he is the servant of the Lord. When the Lord is obeyed by the king and the people under the king's administration, there are regulated rains from the horizon, and these rains are the causes of all varieties of production on the land. Not only do regulated rains help ample production of grains and fruits, but when they combine with astronomical influences, there is ample production of valuable stones and pearls. This means that according to the position of the planets, which are changing continually, there are certain planetary configurations that when it rains at that certain moment and the drop touches the earth, diamonds, rubies, pearls, and other things are produced. It's just a miraculous thing, but that's just a fact. Whether the raindrop touches the ocean or a river or it touches the ground, certain things happen at those astronomical conjunctions, according to because each planet is the dwelling place of a demigod, and then there are planets in this universe where Krishna is present also. So according to the configuration of the planets, there are certain very auspicious moments. Like why do people go to the Kumbh Mela? The biggest Kumbh Mela is once every 144 years, I think. Okay? What is happening that so many people go to the places where Kumbh Mela is taking place and want to bathe at a particular time? Because they understand from Vedic literature that Amrita, or nectar of immortality, is falling down to the earth on those particular times at a particular place. So there are many mysterious things about nature in this universe that are happening. We don't know. We don't have the knowledge. Why? Because it's controlled by Krishna and the Devas. It's not controlled by Albert Einstein and the demons. But it's happening, and it's a reality, and things are being produced that are miraculous productions organized by Krishna. Grains and vegetables can sumptuously feed a man and animals, and a fatty cow delivers enough milk to supply a man sumptuously with vigor and vitality. If there is enough milk, enough grain, enough fruit, enough cotton, enough silk, and enough jewels, then why do people need economic development in the shape of tools and machines? Can tools and machines supply vigor and vitality to men and animals? Can machinery produce grain, fruit, and milk, or jewels and silk? Well, wait a minute. Yes, the Chinese are producing plastic rice. They're exporting it to Africa. Yeah, and even to India and even to the United States. So you didn't know that? It's true. Yeah, it looks exactly like rice. It tastes a little bit like rice. It's plastic. Yeah. Huh? Paint milk. Is it fake milk or paint milk? Oh, they make it out of paint. You've been drinking paint milk. That's why you don't drink. You can drink our milk here. Then what is the need of an artificial, luxurious life of cinemas, cars, radio, flesh, and hotels. Wow. Has this civilization produced anything more than the doggish mentality of quarreling individually and nationally? Has this civilization enhanced the cause of equality and fraternity by sending thousands of men into a hellish factory and the war fields at the whims of a particular man? Prabhupada is very eloquent here. This is a purport from Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 10th chapter, 4th verse. Lord Krishna says he is the seed-giving father of all species of life in this world. Bhagavad Gita 4:14. Every living entity is the child of God, who naturally does not tolerate even an ant being killed, such as people stepping on ants purposely or children pouring lighter fluid on anthills and burning them for entertainment. Yeah, years ago, my kids were growing up, there was one neighbor, and one of my kids was going to the neighbor's house to play with the neighbor's kid. And the neighbor's kid's favorite pastime was pouring lighter fluid on an ant nest or hole, and then lighting it and watching the ants burn. And one of my daughters came home and said, "Dad, I just saw something. I'm not sure, is it good or bad?" I said, "What is that?" He said, "Well, the neighbor's boy puts lighter fluid on the ant hill and then he sets it on fire and kills all the ants." I said, "That's horrible." So when that neighbor's kid was at our place, I told him, "You shouldn't do that anymore." He said, "Why not?" I said, "Because you're killing living entities. That means one day those living entities will take birth as a human being and kill you." "Really?" "Yes." So he went home and complained to his mother that the neighbor scared me. So the mother comes, is real upset, so, "Why did you scare my son?" I said, "What do you mean I scared him?" "So he said you scared him. You said that when he burns the ants, they're going to take birth and kill him." I said, "Well, it's true." "So how do you know that's true?" I said, "Well, it says that in our scriptures." "Well, I don't believe in that." I said, "Well, if someone pours lighter fluid on you and sets you on fire, do you believe that?" And I said, there's ants are living beings just like you and me. And they suffer when they burn like that, and they die. I said, it's not a sane thing to do. It's not a good thing for your kid to be doing something like that. So she thought about it. And I said, "Well, maybe you're right." I said, "Yeah, now he's burning ants. Next time he'll be burning your house down and you." I said, "Don't let your kid learn things like this. It's not good for him. And I don't want my kid to learn something like that." So she agreed. Said, "I think you're right." So, "Okay, I want to thank you very much, and I will also tell him not to do that." Yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? If he's able to kill ants, one day he'll kill people like that. Become a pyro bandit, setting houses on fire and cars on fire. There are stringent laws of nature that God has established that act whether we are aware of them or not. According to Manu Samhita, the law book for Vedic society, killing a cow for meat is an act of ignorance that has dire karmic consequences for all the persons involved in the act, including the permitter of the slaughter, the butcher, the seller, the transporter, the cooker, and the eater. The following prayer says, Lord Krishna is the well-wisher of cows and Brahmana priests. Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmanahitaya Cha, Jagatitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha. My Lord, you are the well-wisher of the cows and the Brahmanas, and you are the well-wisher of the entire human society and the world. Vishnu Purana 1:1965. Srila Prabhupada comments, Brahmanas are the symbol of spiritual education, and cows are the symbol of the most valuable food. Milk, of course, what you don't drink. These two living creatures, the Brahmanas and the cows, they shouldn't be scared here. It's coming directly from, yeah. These two living creatures, the Brahmanas and the cows, must be given all protection. That is real advancement of civilization. In modern human society, spiritual knowledge is neglected and cow killing is encouraged. It is to be understood then that human society is advancing in the wrong direction and is clearing the path to its own condemnation. A civilization which guides the citizens to become animals in their next lives is certainly not a human civilization. The present human civilization is, of course, grossly misled by the modes of passion and ignorance. It is a very dangerous age, and all nations should take care to provide the easiest process, Krishna consciousness, to save humanity from the greatest danger. Bhagavad Gita 14:16 purport. Cow protection is very important for the stability and health of society. 5 categories of citizens of a state should receive special protection: Brahmana priests, women, children, seniors, and cows. When these 5 receive special attention and protection, the prosperity and spiritual well-being of society will proceed successfully. Protecting cows and all citizens of the state is the duty of responsible leaders of society. Srila Prabhupada explains the importance of cow protection for a healthy life with enhanced intellect and peaceful longevity, which helps to promote the spiritual qualities by which one can come closer to God. Although in this age men can live up to 100 years, their duration of life is reduced because they do not drink large quantities of milk. This is a sign of Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, instead of drinking milk, people prefer to slaughter an animal and eat its flesh. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his instructions of Bhagavad Gita, advises Goraksha, which means cow protection. The cows should be protected. Milk should be drawn from the cows, and this milk should be prepared in various ways. One should take ample milk, and thus one can prolong one's life, develop his brain, execute devotional service, and ultimately attain the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As it is essential to get food, grains, and water by digging the earth, it is also essential to give protection to the cows and take nectarine milk from their bags. You should buy a milk right away. You should buy a cow right away. Srimad Bhagavatam 8.6.12 purport. In another quote by Srila Prabhupada, he reveals how to live happily without scarcity by cow protection and producing grains. By protecting all breeds of cows, and especially the Indian Gir cow, one obtains sufficient milk, and by producing food grains, humanity is nourished. Janmashtami was more powerful than Kartavirarjuna because of performing the Agnihotra Yagya with clarified butter received from Kamadhenu. Not everyone can be expected to possess such a cow. Nonetheless, an ordinary man may possess an ordinary cow, give protection to this animal, take sufficient milk from it, and engage the milk to produce butter and clarified ghee, especially for performing the Agnihotra Yagya. This is possible for everyone. See, he doesn't say, oh, I live in an apartment, I can't do it. No. He says it's possible for everyone. So you can find a way to do it. Thus we find that in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna advises Goraksha, the protection of cows. This is essential because if cows are cared for properly, they will surely supply sufficient milk. We have practical experience in America that in our various ISKCON farms, we are giving proper protection to the cows and receiving more than enough milk. In other farms, the cows do not deliver as much milk as in our farms. Because our cows know very well that we are not going to kill them, they are happy and they give ample milk. Therefore, this instruction given by Lord Krishna, Goraksha, is extremely meaningful. The whole world must learn from Krishna how to live happily without scarcity, simply by producing food grains, Anad Bhavanti Bhutani, Bhagavad Gita 3.14, and giving protection to the cows, Goraksha. Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam, Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam, Bhagavad Gita 18.44. Those who belong to the third level of human society, namely the mercantile people, must keep land for producing food grains and giving protection to cows. This is the injunction of Bhagavad Gita. In the matter of protecting the cows, the meat eaters will protest. But in answer to them, we may say that since Krishna gives stress to cow protection, those who are inclined to eat meat may eat the flesh of unimportant animals like hogs, dogs, goats, and sheep. But they should not touch the life of the cows, for this is destructive to the spiritual advancement of human society. Srimad Bhagavatam 9:15-25 purport. Yes. On the farms, people should perform the Agnihotra Yagya, which we will do, in fact, to satisfy my good friend, Ajamil Prabhu. We're going to do Go Puja with Agnihotra Yagya this coming week. So, and we'll do it also tonight, tomorrow, Agnihotra Yagya, and we'll also do it at our festival at Crossroads Park. And people will see us, my daughter milking Lalita Devi there, just like we did at Ananda Mela. In the next quote, Srila Prabhupada reveals the ancient wisdom by which mothers can protect their children from calamity and sickness by mantras, cow dung, and urine. Even in the houses of the cultivators, this is Prabhupada speaking, who were not very advanced in the modern ways of civilization, the ladies used to know how to chant mantras to give protection to children with the help of cow dung and cow urine. This was a simple and practical way to give the greatest protection from the greatest dangers. People should know how to do this, for this is a part of Vedic civilization. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:6-22-23 purport. Traditionally, in the Indian villages, mothers have protected their children by reciting Vedic mantras, especially Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, which is recommended for this age, and bathing their children with a mixture of water and fresh cow urine. Your mother ever bathed you like that?
And also neem leaves water.
One second. They have used a mixture of powdered dry cow dung and purified cow dung ash mixed with powdered neem leaves.
See, my mother used to do that.
See that?
Yeah.
Your mother is in here now. Now you have to do it. Made into a paste with water, milk, and yogurt. Not only that, milk and yogurt. And smeared on the body of the child. After it dries, the paste is washed off the skin, which is then moistened with a mixture of pure cow ghee, diluted with coconut oil. Thus, the child grows up with radiant, healthy skin and protected by the mercy of Lord Krishna and his holy mantra. Haribol, Haribol. The plan for the new Goloka farm. The new Goloka farm in Auburn will develop into a first-class dairy based on principles of cow protection and non-stressful, happy living conditions for the cows. They will not be exploited for profit as they are in modern dairies. Milk production will be conducted in hygienic spaces for milking and bottle filling without all the processing as is done in modern dairies. For example, in a modern dairy, the following processing steps are followed. Now you understand why you shouldn't drink industrially produced milk. I know, but you can start now. You're drinking ahimsa milk.
Only I go my home in India, we have cow.
This is also your home?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pasteurization. 1. Pasteurization. Milk is forced through hot plates to heat it rapidly to a temperature of 75 degrees centigrade, which is like 140 degrees Fahrenheit. It is then forced through ice cold plates to cool it rapidly to 4 degrees centigrade, approximately 10 degrees below freezing. This can kill off some harmful bacteria, but it also kills most of the good bacteria and lactase enzymes, making it indigestible to some people, popularly known as lactose intolerant.
Sweet acid.
Yeah. 2, standardization. All of the butterfat cream is removed, and then a certain percentage is put back to make either whole milk, semi-skimmed, or skimmed. Actually, scammed. It should be scammed. Any leftover cream, and there's plenty, is used to make other products. You're being swindled out of good cream. 3, homogenization. Literally meaning to make it homogeneous, or all exactly the same. Milk is shaken so hard, all the delicate fat molecules are smashed into tiny pieces until they are unable to rise to the top. This is why you never get that lovely line of cream on top of your milk anymore. 4, packing. Milk is packed in various forms like a pouch, PET bottles, or Tetra Paks before being sent for distribution. There is too much harmful plastic distribution. Milk is trucked all over the country to shops and wholesalers, where it is sold on shelves sometimes 1 to 2 weeks after the initial milking. The above process is very energy intensive. Electrical energy is necessary to run all the different processing machines. Much of the nutritional content of the milk is lost by the processing. The traditional practice in India is receiving fresh milk. Bring it to a boil and let it cool before use. Often in the villages and cities of India, people go to the farm during the milking times, morning or evening, bring their own stainless steel containers, and get the fresh milk newly extracted and warm. By the traditional practice, the natural milk fat, lactase, and digestive enzymes required for healthy bodies and mind are not disturbed and delivered intact. The new Goloka farm will follow the traditional Indian practice of cow protection to supply first-class fresh milk, fresh whole milk, available immediately upon milking or at most 1 day after milking. Advantages of purebred Guernsey cows and A2 milk. New Goloka farm has purebred Guernsey cows that provide A2 milk like the original cows from India. There are very few breeds of cows in the West that give A2 milk. Western cows, for the most part, give A1 milk. Over 90% of purebred Guernsey cows give 96% of purebred Guernsey cows give A2 milk. What is the difference between A1 and A2 milk? Casein, or casein, is the largest group of proteins in milk, making up about 80% of the total protein content. There are several types of casein, or casein, in milk, and beta-casein is the second most common. Beta-casein exists in 13 different forms. The two most common forms of beta-casein are A1 beta-casein. Milk from breeds of cows that originated in Northern Europe is generally high in A1 beta-casein. And A1 milk comes from breeds like the Holstein, Friesian, Ayrshire, and British Shorthorn. A2 beta-casein, milk that is high in A2 beta-casein, is mainly found in breeds that are indigenous to India and a few breeds in the West, in the Channel Islands and southern France. These Western breeds are the Guernsey, Jersey, Charolais, and Limousin. Regular milk contains both A1 and A2 beta-casein, but A2 milk contains only A2 beta-casein. Some studies indicate that A1 beta-casein may be harmful and that A2 beta-casein is a safer choice. This is the reason for the A1 versus A2 debate. A1 and A2 milk contain different types of protein called beta-casein. Some studies indicate that A2 milk may be the healthier of the two. A1 milk has a particular type of beta-casein, beta-casomorphin 7, or B, small b, big B, CM-7, which is an opioid peptide that is released during the digestion of A1 beta-casein. So in America nowadays we have what's called an opioid addiction, right? Well, A1 milk contains an opioid called BB beta-casein. You didn't know you were taking an opioid. Now you know. There are some experimental studies that indicate that BBCM casein 7 opioid peptide may increase the risk of sudden death in infants. It's called sudden death syndrome in infants. May increase the risk of type 1 diabetes. High levels of BCM7 or beta-casein 7 in infants was associated with an impaired ability to plan and perform actions and potentially worsened behavioral symptoms in autistic children, and may affect digestive function in adults and children. Scientists say more experimentation is required to have more conclusive proof of the A1 versus A2 issue. Guernsey cow A2 milk is vastly different and superior than most normal commercial milk. It contains 12% more protein, 30% more cream, 33% more vitamin D, 25% more vitamin A, 15% more calcium, and 30% more omega-3 essential fatty acid. The unique golden color of Guernsey milk comes from an unusually high content of orange beta-carotene, which the human body converts into vitamin A, retinol. The essential vitamin A is an excellent antioxidant that protects against free radicals that damage cells and cause aging and most degenerative diseases, including arteriosclerosis, cancer, inflammatory joint disease, asthma, diabetes, senile dementia, and degenerative eye disease. Studies have shown that antioxidants through diet help people's immune system, protect against free radicals, and lower the risk of developing cancer and heart disease. The benefits of omega-3 include improved heart health due to stimulation of blood circulation, reduction of blood pressure and blood triglycerides levels, bad cholesterol, and possibly reduction of the risk of heart attack, improvement of rheumatoid arthritis, improved cognitive performance, and delayed or prevention of certain neurological conditions like dementia. Several studies have also reported possible anti-cancer effects, and the source is given of these quotes. If one uses supplements to increase their vitamin A intake, it is possible to overdose. Vitamin A is toxic at high levels. The advantage of consuming foods with beta-carotene is that the body only converts the amount of vitamin A from beta-carotene that it needs, whereas taking vitamin A supplements can result in large amounts of vitamin A build up in your body over a long period. This can cause liver damage, increased pressure on the brain, skin changes, bone pain, and vision problems. A2 Guernsey milk is the ideal nutritional liquid for supporting a healthy body and mind to advance toward spiritual enlightenment. So if you're taking vitamin A supplements, stop immediately. It's a health hazard. I had a cousin named Cousin Dick. He was a school teacher in New York City. And one day, I met my cousin Dick in New York. And he said to me, "Cousin Harry, are you taking vitamins?" I said, "No, Cousin Dick." He said, "What? You're not taking vitamins? That's really irresponsible." I said, "Why is that?" He said, "But you have to have vitamins because all the soil in the United States is depleted, and you're eating nutrient depleted food. You can't get everything you need out of the food. You have to take vitamins." Then he took something out of his pocket. It was a contraption that has 60 vitamins in it. And I said, "What's that?" It looked like a spaceship, like something from outer space. He says, "My vitamin box. I take 60 vitamins a day." I said, "Take 60 a day?" He said, "Do you eat?" He said, "No, I don't eat that much because you can't get anything out of your food. You have to take vitamins." I said, "It doesn't make sense." "What do you mean it doesn't make sense? It's scientific." "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cousin Dick." Yeah, so this is vitamin A. Then he went through an explanation of all the vitamins he was taking. That took about, 20 minutes, And he says, "Well, what are you going to do now?" I said, "Well, I still think I can get everything I need out of food." He said, "You're hopeless." And he walked away from me. You know what happened to Cousin Dick? 2 years later, he died of cancer. He was only 50 years old. Because, what does it say about vitamin A? You overdose on it, it can cause, what does it say? It causes, it's toxic at high levels. So you see, when you get your vitamin A from foods that contain beta-carotene, and obviously some milk contains beta-carotene, your body only converts the beta-carotene to the amount of vitamin A that it needs. But if you take vitamin A supplements, it doesn't matter, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin D2, vitamin D3, doesn't matter. You can overdose on them. They're highly concentrated pills with just 1 or 2 things in it, right? And that's not the way you should get your vitamins. You have to, for example, in order to assimilate vitamin C, you need other things with it. So when you eat an orange, it just doesn't have vitamin C in it. It has a whole bunch of other things in it. Or when you eat kale, it doesn't just have vitamin this or vitamin that. It has a lot of other things in it that help you to assimilate the vitamin or digest the vitamin, and it becomes part of your body. If you just take the vitamin, one vitamin, highly concentrated, it can cause an overdose. And that's what happened to my cousin Dick. He died of cancer because he was taking 60 vitamins a day. Right. Scientific evidence for the benefits and uniqueness of Indian cows, Bos indicus, and Panchagavya. The word "and" got lost, and Panchagavya. Scientists, and so now we're going to hear about the special quality. I mean, Guernsey cows are giving A2 milk like Indian cows, but there's a special enhanced quality of purebred Indian cows, and we have also purebred Gujarati Gir cows, which are the most, let's say, famous amongst Indian cows. Scientists in India have studied the therapeutic qualities of purebred Indian cows and their products: urine, dung, milk, yogurt, ghee. The following introduction and conclusion of a scientific paper, which provides clinical evidence supporting the ancient Vedic knowledge about cow products of Indian cows. I forgot the word "is." Therapeutic potentials of cow-derived products. A review by R. Kaushik, J. Jain, and R. Rai, Department of Pharmacy. Ramesh, Institute of Vocational Technical Education, plot number 3, Knowledge Park 1, Greater Noida, Uttar Pradesh, India. Abstract or introduction. Kamadhenu, or Indian cow, Bos indicus, is worshipped as sacred animal by Hindus. The reason for worshipping is the tremendous therapeutic values of cow-derived products like cow milk curd, cow butter, ghee, cow urine, cow dung, and a combination formulation, Panchagavya. The use of these products has been well defined in ancient Ayurvedic texts like Charak Samhita, Sushruta Samhita, Brihad, Bhagavatam, etc. This, of course, is a wrong statement. This is not a correct statement. We don't worship, Indians don't worship the cow because it gives these different things. They worship the cow because it's dear to Krishna. Anything dear to Krishna, anything related to Krishna is worshipable, like Govardhan, like Tulsi, etc. Yes, the cow gives these wonderful substances. They're considered amrit. But that's not the exact reason why we worship the cow. It's because of the cow's connection to Krishna. Cow ghee showed anti-cancer, hepatoprotective, hepato means liver protection, potential by altering the enzymatic activities, whereas cow urine acts by an unknown mechanism. So in other words, they know why cow ghee is good for the liver and other things. They don't know why cow urine is so medicinal, but they know it's medicinal. They have not figured it out yet. Analgesic pain relief activity is attributed to the presence of steroidal moieties and volatile fatty components in it. Okay, he's talking about cow urine. It has pain relieving activity, and antioxidants isolated from cow urine are responsible for anti-diabetic, immunomodulatory, anti-epileptic, antibacterial, antifungal, and antimicrobial activities. So cow urine is very good for diabetes. I know someone who's healed his diabetes just with cow urine. The way you take cow urine, don't do it the way I do it. You know, when a cow pees, I put my hand like this and I drink it. No, they get the cow urine, and if you get fresh cow urine, you don't have to use distilled cow urine. But if you get, you know, cow urine that's been in a bottle for months, it should be distilled. Distillation separates any impurities from the pure cow urine. Anyway, my friend takes a tumbler, you know, like this much cow urine, pours it in a glass of water, and drinks it. So you don't taste the cow urine that much when it's diluted with water. If you get fresh cow urine, it doesn't taste bad. It tastes just slightly salty. That's all. It doesn't smell bad either. No, I'm telling you the truth. It's a fact.
In India, there was one Prime Minister, Morarji Desai. He used to drink his own urine.
Yeah, he's not the only one. He's not the only one that would drink his own urine. Gandhi also drank his own urine. But that also is medicinal. It depends on what you're eating. But if you're eating clean things, it can be very medicinal. If you're taking vitamins and you drink your own urine, you'll die. Okay, so that's the introduction to their paper. Now, next is the conclusion to their paper. Therapeutic potentials of cow-derived products, a review. Available from, and they say where you can go on the internet to actually read this paper, the whole paper. Conclusion. This study concludes that cows possess a tremendous pharmacological and therapeutic potential. Pharmacological means something derived from plants. And therapeutic means healing potential. The reason behind the use of these cow-derived products by the Indian civilization since a long time is justified from the research findings of various experimental studies on both human beings and animals. The grant of U.S. patent to the efficacy of cow urine in treatment of various deadly diseases has given a backup support for the researchers for further exploration of the pharmacological potential of cow-derived products. That means that in the United States, someone has patented cow urine for treating specific diseases, especially diabetes. That gives they're saying that gives even more evidence, if the Americans patented it, that it must be true, you know. The cow-derived products are proved to possess anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, antimicrobial, antiseptic, antibacterial, antifungal, immunodulatory, hepatoprotective, meaning liver protection, and immunodulatory, meaning it helps your immune system, anticonvulsant, anti-stress, analgesic, that means pain relief, anti-hemorrhoids, and many other therapeutic uses which are still to be explored, like anti-demon, anti-nonsense, and anti-so forth. Right? New Goloka Farm also has purebred Indian Gujarati Gir cows, which are presently at the Redmond Farm. Our Gir bull, Narayana, has already mated with Gorangi, and hopefully she will have a calf 9 months from now. Then we will be able to have her exceptional milk. There are 2 other cows, Lakshmi and Sita, besides Gorangi, who are still too young to mate. We plan to have, I'm sorry, it's not Lakshmi and Sita, it's Lakshmi and Padmavati, who are still too young to mate. We plan to have a wonderful herd of these Gir cows in order to supply the pure cow products, Panchagavya, for the benefit of our congregation. The plan for a first-class retreat and wellness center. New Goloka Farm has a 4-bedroom house with 2 master bathrooms that will serve as a retreat and wellness home for spiritual and physical well-being. It will be equipped with a far-infrared sauna, an ozone sauna, a sensory deprivation tank, where you can really chant Hare Krishna well. A jacuzzi, a massage chair, clay packs, and bathtub shower. The master bedroom will have the equipment, and the other 3 bedrooms will be for guests. There will also be a large japa kirtan katha meditation room, specialized cuisine with organic greens, lentils, and herbs, fresh picked and fresh juices, wheatgrass juice, healing herbal teas, spring water vitalized with natural minerals and oxygen. The entire experience at the retreat center will be for spiritual rejuvenation and physical welfare by regulated activities of hearing, chanting, exercise, eating healthy food, and relaxation, with the added bonus of cow care, cow seva or service, gardening, and A2 fresh milk. An optional added value will be Panchagavya treatment. Health is not only a physical state. Its origin is faith in God, Lord Krishna, through the transparent via media of the bona fide spiritual masters, Shiksha and Diksha, and the association of sincere devotees who actually strictly follow the principles of Vedic Dharma and Vaishnava Sadachar, good behavior. By good association, one can develop real faith in God and determination to follow the spiritual path of personal relationships with Krishna and his devotees. Shri Radha Nila Madhava Ki Jai. Following the four regulative principles is essential for such association to be life-changing. These principles are 4 don'ts and 4 do's. No meat, fish, chicken, or eggs. No gambling or philosophical speculation. No intoxication, including coffee and tea. And no illicit connections outside of marriage. Every day chanting the mantra Hare Krishna. Attending classes in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Accepting only holy prasadam, food offered to Lord Krishna and distributed for everyone. For nutrition, and engaged in acts of devotional service in the temple with other devotees. If one adjusts to this lifestyle, then quickly one sees remarkable purification of consciousness, feelings of well-being, and spiritual enlightenment. The body and mind have an inherent ability to restore and maintain health when our soul reconnects with Lord Krishna. Then we follow the lifestyle of a devotee, which is a life of devotion and love for Krishna that is shared with all others through unselfish acts of sacrifice for the spiritualization of oneself and others. Let us all work together to make the above a blossoming reality in the Samamish Vedic Cultural Center and the new Goloka Farm. How you can help to make new Goloka Farm a grand success. When we first envisioned building the Samamish Vedic Cultural Center, it seemed like an impossible task. But the impossible became possible by the sincere prayers and sacrifice of many sincere devotees. The new Goloka Farm can become a first-class dairy and farm retreat wellness center by the collective prayers, service, and monetary donations of the Vedic Cultural Center to the Vedic Cultural Center. The following are ways to donate. Voluntary service is always welcome. Please call myself for service opportunities. To make an operational dairy will cost. Revamp the inside of barn with new flooring for easy cleanup with drainage trenches, $10,000. Make 2 clean rooms for milking the cows for filling and cold storage of milk, $40,000. Purchase of equipment for cold storage, milking machines, water purification, generator, barn heater for winter, bulldozer for cleaning, cow dung handling, and composting large quantities of cow dung, $40,000. Miscellaneous purchases for the cow care and barn supplies, including natural veterinary supplies, special cow crush pen for veterinary care, repair of all fencing in the 10 acres, $10,000. Total $100,000. To prepare the large house for a meditation retreat wellness center, ozone sauna $6,000, far infrared sauna $3,000, sensory deprivation tank $8,000, jacuzzi already have one but needs servicing $500, massage chair top of the line with many functions, $8,000. Supplies such as pots, juicers, blenders, etc. for the kitchen, $3,000. Garden supplies to make growing boxes, tools, etc., $3,000. Professional landscaper to design the flower gardens, fruit trees, vegetable herb garden, and oversee the work to completion, $6,000. Total, $37,500. Our minimum needs are $137,500 to get Goloka Farm functioning with a first-class dairy and a retreat wellness center with landscape flower and vegetable herb gardens. Hare Krishna. Now you know our strategy. We want to produce ahimsa milk, have a 5-star hotel for our cows, and have a first-class retreat, spiritual retreat and wellness center for everyone, for the benefit of everyone. Hari Bol. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Are there any questions, comments, confessions, or others can be made at this time? Yes, Michael, you had a confession? No? Oh, okay. Yeah. Any questions, comment? Yes, Prabhu. Okay. So instead of saying so, you have to say so aham. Excuse me. Hare Krishna. We don't say either. We have 17 cows. We get approximately 15 plus gallons of milk a day. All the cows are not being milked, obviously. Only 6 are being milked. And the milk production goes up and down seasonally. Then what are the other questions? Well, we don't really have a dairy yet. We're proposing to make a professional dairy, you know. And to do that, you know, it requires an investment. I mean, this is minimal. Normally they invest $300,000-$400,000. Like the farm in Gitanagri, they got a grant, I think, of $400,000 to come up to a level of professional dairy. But they have, of course, 50, 60, 70, 80 cows. We have 17, and they're not all being milked right now. So we only have 6 cows right now that are being milked. But we can do it with $100,000. Yeah, they have a professional dairy. I don't know, but they can only supply in Pennsylvania State. They took a whole bunch of milk to the Sadhu Sangha, and the health department condemned it, and that whole had to be destroyed. So they went across state line.
But how do you come to know?
Well, it's a big festival, and they tell the health department that they're serving food, so they were inspected. And an inspector can't condemn the whole shipment of milk. Hundreds of gallons. Yeah, so, you know, there are a lot of very strict rules to handle milk. And you have to follow all the rules. So we want to follow all the rules. Yeah. Any other questions? Does that answer everything? Well, what we have right now is not to the level of a professional dairy that can distribute milk commercially. Okay? Yes. Yeah. Yes. There are a lot of strict rules that you have to follow. Just like we have a kitchen, we have a health department approved kitchen, and we follow all their rules. Right? And we want to do the same thing. Yeah. It's easier to follow the rules than break the rules. Then the problems come. We want to follow the rules. Yeah. Haribol. Thank you very much. Sorry it went on so long. All glories to the Prabhupada.
I was leaving to run until somebody came in and see what's going on. I'll give the book to you now.
Okay.
yeah.